Oh.
What's so
Hand over your heart, Timmy.
proudly we hailed
I can't even take my hat
by
off
the
for this one, Tom.
twilight's last
Let's give this a listen
gleam,
here.
whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watch were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner
Oh, the best part's
yet
coming up.
I couldn't listen to this whole thing all the way through. That's why now you're making me do it.
Land of the free and the home of
Oh
the
my God, dude. That is
What a way to start an episode of Schmidt and Lavelle. Timmy, what do you think about that?
Tom. We had
He's speechless.
our country has had quite the week, and to top it off with that was oh
The
man,
cherry on top.
cherry on top. My God, that was brutal, and I was not able to watch that live. For the sole purpose of our other show, Jabroni Drive. I was watching Raw at the time, and I figured that the national anthem would be sung appropriately, and it's something that I didn't have to watch because I did want to watch some of the Phillies and their bats and things of that nature, but like I was like, you know what, I'll go back and forth. Oh man. I got it.
Oh man.
I got a text from a handful of people, but which was my sister. She was like, I had to run into the other room. I was embarrassed to watch it, which
So
is
bad.
which is I mean, it is really, I think, the epitome of how everyone like felt because it was bad. And Tom, let me take the lead on this as I already have since I haven't really let you talk at all, but like the worst thing about this whole situation was like how bad the performance was, right? But like the follow up afterwards, right? So everyone's like speculating on how bad it was and like what the hell was wrong with her, and then we come to find out that she was drunk during the whole process, and she's now checking in the rehab, which is like such a cop out for me.
Yeah. You know what, Timmy? I have a theory on that, but go ahead.
So like, why can't someone just get completely fucked up and get drunk and say, look, my bad. I got lit. I made a mistake. I probably should have passed it off to somebody else, but I decided that I thought I could sing it and I absolutely trashed it. Like, why does everyone that gets drunk all of a sudden in the public have to check into rehab?
You know what? I
Is
think it's
it
more on us now. I don't think the people viewing the song were drunk enough, is what it is. I think we weren't drunk enough to listen to that song. The drunker you get, I think the better that song is.
well, to the person that's singing it, like I think that I could sing in front of any amount of people when I'm lit. Like,
And the drunker they are, the more they'll enjoy it.
oh yeah, of course. So it just
Maybe
was
it's on us, Timmy. Maybe we should have been more drunk for that national anthem.
it was absolutely abomination. And I'll tell you what, what's his face? The singer that came out the next day and actually sang the national anthem killed it. Clay Johnson, I think his name was.
Oh,
The con
Clay Aiken. Yeah.
Not him. But the country singer, he absolutely slayed it the next day. It just
Could
look,
this be a ploy to get more views? I mean, I'm
no,
sure she got more views
no,
and her
no,
name has been said more than it ever has been. You do
because
this, it's out there now. Now you got a comeback story and you kill it the next time. And it's like, wow, look at that. Remember she had that terrible national anthem and now she's singing great.
no,
Like,
because I think you get more views when the anthem is sung better.
yeah.
Like people always remember the people that sung it worse, like Carl Lewis, Roseanne Barr, this chick, Fergie, right? Like there's a whole lot of them, but at the same time, you always remember the people that sing it great. Like Whitney Houston's rendition is remembered as one of the greatest renditions of all time, right?
Chris
Like it,
Stapleton is one that is
yeah,
up there for me when he sang it.
absolutely. So I mean, I don't think this is some sort of publicity stunt. I think it's just a situation where a girl went out and she enjoyed herself a little bit too much at the All-Star game, and it is a party. It is a party now. Like you look at that All-Star game, and it's a 3-day banger. They fly out there, and there's all sorts of stars out there. It's a celebrity. Every one of these All-Star games are very similar to that, right? There's parties and all
Yeah.
sorts of shit that's going on throughout the whole entire weekend. This is during the week, but like, look, God bless you. You probably made the wrong decision by going back out there and singing. Like you probably shouldn't have. You probably should have recognized that you're a little fucked up
Yeah.
and said, "Hey, I'm gonna take a play off." Like they have, and in these situations, I think there's got to be some sort of contingent plan too, right? Like
Right.
for
Hey, let's
everything,
call in the lefty or like you
right?
need a fill in kind
Yeah,
of ready to go.
yeah. Like there's got to be some sort of like house, like national anthem person like that we have at the Flyers game with what's her
Right.
face?
Hart.
Yeah, right?
Lauren
Like
Hart.
Lauren Hart. Like, hey, let's we can bring in some big name celebrity, but like worst case scenario, they get all tuned up. Let's bring in Lauren Hart and she'll knock it out the box.
Yeah. We're gonna, actually we have a special guest tonight.
Yeah.
Timmy, the All-Star game was pretty cool and something I think you mentioned to me and we wanted to talk about too was when you look at the All-Star game and the people out there. Obviously, really cool to see all the Phillies that were in there. 8 Phillies involved in the All-Star weekend, 5 pitchers, 3 hitters, and then when you talk about the stars of the All-Stars, I mean, we might have the number one guy. I think it's him and Otani are the two that people really talk about, and I think Bryce was getting all his praise this week at the All-Star game, and it's just kind of cool to have like the guy on your team.
He is I think the word I used to you, Tom, was he's just a cool guy, right? Um he just exudes like this confidence all the time, right? He's been in the limelight for so long, and he's just one of those guys that like just and it's our first time seeing him as an all-star at the all-star game, which is kind of wild because he's been injured so often. um but he's finally had this opportunity this year to be at the all-star game, and I'm watching this game and I'm like, dude, like Bryce is like the guy. He is the man out there. And it's not like Chase Utley the man, because Chase Utley was the man, but he was our guy. Bryce is like on a whole different level of like stardom. And you don't really recognize it in Philly because he does do the pandering, and he did it again at the All-Star game with the water jug, which was great. Like, and I love that stuff, right?
Me
Like it's
too.
because it's personal to us and it's something that we recognize. And the broadcast got it wrong. They didn't know what the hell was going on, which is like a shame on them for not identifying that, but um, it's something that speaks to us, and that's what Bryce does so well is that he understands like the city, and whether he's pandering or not, he gets it, and he knows what makes the city tick. So like he's putting the effort forth really to connect with the city, and that's all we ask for, right? Like we want our athletes to play hard and like, hey, dude, like throw us some love every so often. Like, don't make us sound like the worst fan base in the world, like everyone else does. Like when they
Yeah,
come to play us or they want to criticize us in the media. But Bryce is just like he's such like a great ambassador for the city of Philadelphia, and like for him to be one of the premier baseball players in like in the
in the
world
world. Yeah.
is really cool. It's really a
Yeah.
cool thing.
I would say he's like one of the faces of baseball right now. It's probably the top three have to be him, Otani, and Judge.
Mhm.
Like when I'm thinking about who is the face of baseball, and those are the three, and to have a representative from the Phillies in that category, I can't remember the last time that has happened. I mean, I know Ryan Howard had his run, but he was never like a face of the league. And like you said, Utley was our guy, and J. Roll, and all that whole crew. You could even say Halliday was a very well known, but not like this. This is a
He's
different level. It's really cool to
yeah.
see.
Yeah, he's worldly. He is like he's not like David Beckham, but like I'm telling you, like because everyone knew David Beckham, everyone knows like Ronaldo, all these soccer players. Like soccer is like a different level,
Right.
but when you're talking like worldly athletes, like baseball is up there, and Bryce Harper is one of those guys. So it's cool to have him on the team, and it was cool to see that and him interact, and like he's being interviewed everywhere. He's getting pulled in every different direction. And he represented Philadelphia well, and obviously the organization. So I'm looking forward to
We
second half
love
of the
you,
season.
Bryce. We
Yeah,
love you
yeah.
so much, Bryce.
Thank you.
Bryce, we love you.
Isn't it nice though, dude?
It
For
is not,
seriously,
dude. I'm
like
with you. I
I mean,
love him. I
it
freaking
feels
love him.
great. It feels great to be like just on this different level, like where for years we were, and I'm a
Shunned
redhead.
almost. We were like the city
We're the
that's like the
redheaded
second rate.
stepchild,
Yeah, yeah.
and now
Now
like
we
we're
got the guy.
yeah, we got the guy, and our team is the best, and it's great to be on top. It's great to get flowers, and it's great. It feels good. It feels good to be in this position. But like, it'd be great if we finish it off and been in that ultimate position, which would be
Oh,
great.
that would be incredible. Looking forward to that and the rest of this season. The Phillies best record in the league. Um, Funny enough, all of our pitchers, nobody let up a run, and all of our field players, everyone got a hit. So they
Right.
certainly contributed in this All-Star game, and not only on top of showing out as far as their star power, they also produced in the game like they've been doing all year. So we can't wait for that season to start back up. We'll start back with the Pirates on Friday. I don't think he'll be starting the first game, but excited to see this Paul Skeens, dude. I've been watching him all season. He's a
Stud.
superstar and one of the best pitching prospects to come out in a long time. And he is living up to everything right now. And that guy is a superstar. So exciting series coming up, and of course we'll be talking about that with the Phillies. Also, another exciting thing coming up, and that is going to be the Open Championship. We're big golf fans on this show, as you know, and one of the majors of the year is the Open Championship, aka the British Open. A lot of talk going into this week on who is the favorite. It's different for a links style course, Timmy. The play is different, the wind over there, the weather. It's kind of a unique atmosphere that like each major has its own unique atmosphere. The U.S. Open obviously being the toughest challenge. This one, the link style, the bunkers, like the link style, like I said, it kind of adds to the element of the game, and it kind of suits different players better than others. And where do you see this going? I mean, Scotty Scheffler is the Vegas odds favorite, which makes sense because he's in every tournament going. But you got any guys that maybe aren't in the top five that you're looking at?
Yeah, so like the local guys that I love during this like championship is like guys that are gonna keep the ball low, they can hit the ball low, they can keep it obviously on the fairway. Like it's just it's look, this is gonna be it's gonna sound so like cliche because like that's how you win golf tournaments, right? Like if you keep the ball in the fairway and you hit your greens and you make your putts, like it's just so cliche.
Yeah,
Like and you hear
obviously that's how you. Yeah, I hear what you're
right.
saying.
Um, but like there's a lot of players that don't do that. But there's European players that are used to this weather, right? That like so there's 2 days that I looked at. The weather is gonna be shitty. It's gonna be like 20% rain tomorrow, around 60 degrees, winds about 20 miles an hour. It's gonna kick up to 40 and then 90% rain on Saturday. So
Ooh,
that's gonna be fun.
I
And it's
love
gonna
that. You know
yeah.
what we saw? I think last year's Open Championship for the senior tour, the weather was out of control. I don't know
Mhm.
if you caught it, but Patrick Harrington was in the run in the final, and I forget who the guy he was going with, but they were battling, and it was like every shot you held your breath because that weather could just kick up, and there was nothing you could do about it, and a lot of it
No,
was on the gods to decide
sure.
where was this ball going.
Yeah. And and just like any other tournament, it's all about your draw, right? And by that, what I mean is like, so you can have an early tee time and miss the weather
Right.
on the first day, and then have a late tee time because that's how it works. It goes early, late, and then like if you start late on the first day, you go early in the next day. So like you could have the luck of the draw and miss all the weather and shoot a low round, or you could be on the opposite end and get all the weather and totally miss a cut as the best player in the world because you're dealing with the elements. So it's not really fair, but like it's just the way golf works out. But this tournament more than any tournament this is really the luck of the draw and like because the weather really comes into play. It's just one of my favorite tournaments because it's chaos and it's also um broadcasted from 1 a.m. in the morning to pretty much 12 hours through the day. So like you'll have 12 hours of live coverage. So if you want to wake up and watch it as early as you want, you can see every goddamn shot.
Love
And
that.
that's the way golf should be really shown. I it's one of my favorite tournaments. And
Timmy, we had some controversial talk this weekend, and I kind of want to get your take on this. Let's listen to this video real quick.
Tiger, just to almost follow up on that,
Yeah.
you've given so much to this game, you've given so much to this championship. But you know, there was comments, last week from Colin Montgomery who said, "Why is he here? He should retire. There's no point to this." Do you feel that's a bit hurtful and you've earned the right to you make the decision when you decide?
Well, as a past champion, I'm exempt till I'm 60. Colin's not. He's not a past champion, so he's not exempt. So he doesn't get the opportunity to make that decision. I do.
to that absolute murder.
That's what I mean. You've earned that. You've deserved it. You've.
So when I get to be at his age, I can still make that decision. When he
It's an absolute murder.
Is that
And
the
like
kill of the century?
yeah, it's really bad. Like, and I don't know why Colin Montgomery's speaking like that because look, he's been a decent, he's been a good golfer throughout his career, but his career's over. I don't know why he's commenting on other people. Um, the fact that he goes after Tiger Woods, who's arguably the greatest golfer of all time, telling him to hang it up makes no sense whatsoever. Uh, but it was great. It was a great dunk. This goes back to the Ryder Cup, right? Like there was always this like it's back and forth between the Euros and this is going to add some. I think this is going to add some parity and just some vitriol to like the next Ryder Cup because yeah, people won't forget this thing. So it'll be good.
Yeah, I think Colin should have just sat that one out and all-time kill from Tiger. I loved it. And it was great. And like you
But
said, Timmy, that will really add something to the Ryder Cup. Not that they need much more, but
no, but to you asked me who I like some kind of underdogs. Like there's guys like that I've been on for a little while, like Minwoo Lee. He's an Australian, pretty decent golfer. Tom Kim has been playing really good golf. Guys that like you're not really going to think of that aren't really like top 10 golfers. Like Tommy Fleetwood is a great pick. Shane Lowry is a great pick. Rory is right now a choke artist.
you
So
never know. Maybe this is the one he'll pull it out. Morikawa was kind of in that same boat. He's always falling off on Sunday.
but he's won two majors, right? Like he's won an Open before, which I tend to guys that have done it before, like you trend and play really well. Joaquin Neiman is another guy that I like that could play really well. So we'll see. We'll see how these guys fare. I'm certainly looking forward to this tournament more than any. But
Hell yeah. All right, well, let's get to some of our comments from this week and some of our calls. Timmy, we just put up a video of you with your new glasses on, and boy, we've got a bunch of comments already. From that Eagles kid, we got a glasses emoji going from All City Schmitty. He's special, all right. From Len Mears, sweet readers. From S Madden 10, looking fresh, Timmy. I dig 'em. From W Tommy 5, the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. Timmy, they're liking you with your glasses, you know?
well, it was an initial buy. We'll see what happens. Look, the eyes are starting to go. That's the issue. Okay. And spot on by Len Mears with the saying that they're readers. And I mean, how do you identify something like that? I'm new to the glass game. So
Is that a term, a nationwide term, you think, or is that like a Philly kind of term, readers? I wonder. Do they
I
say
think
readers in other states?
when I research them on Amazon, they pop up. It's not like a Philly thing.
Oh, they're the glasses, like they're actually that's like a type of readers or an actual type of
Yeah,
glasses.
they're
So I
for
guess there's
reading.
what everyday and readers. I just thought someone just said, "Oh, we'll call them readers," you know. Hey, let me get my readers.
Yeah, like you usually only need them to read. That's why.
Right.
Because like the font starts to get a little messed up, which is what's happening with me. And I'm like having the I don't read at all. I don't read, Tom.
Mm.
Don't like books. Don't
Mm-mm.
like any. I read my like I made a joke today. I said I need to put my readers on while I drive because so I can text while I drive.
Oh man, we don't
It's
we
a
don't
joke.
condone
It's a joke.
texting and
It's a
driving
joke.
here on this
It's
show.
it's a total joke. I'm gonna get
Oh,
fired.
I'm guilty myself, my friend. Believe
No,
me.
I don't do it ever. I really don't. It's against everything that I stand for, Tom.
Very good. All right, let's get to some of these calls that we have. Here's our first call.
What's going on, fellas? It's your boy Heath Stiff. I just want to say that the last thing I want to see is y'all turn into like First Take or Undisputed or one of those debate shows. But I gotta say, for content purposes, your little lovers quarrel that y'all had, oh, I was feeling that. Tom, come on, dude. You gotta do better. You gotta do better. The Sixers, man, we're doing all we can. Just stick
Are we?
with us, man. That's all. Just stick with us. Be patient.
I've been
I
patient.
understand the whole process was a flop and all that, but
More than just the process.
you're not going to get what Embiid is worth if you trade him.
Especially not going to get it next
Plain and
year.
simple. Anyway, I love the name calling. I love the passion. Timmy turned a different shade of red that I've never seen before. Tom, you turned a little red too. Like I said, there was some name calling. Ooh, I love it. Keep the passion, fellas. Love the show. Keep the content coming. Peace.
He's stiff. Love the call in. Thank you. And also a comment on our YouTube channel. Last week's show proves to me that y'all agree too much. Do we have any further comments on the Sixers, Timmy? I think we've covered that.
Yeah, we beat that horse dead.
All right. Here we go. Our next call.
This is Frank Costanza. You think you can keep us out of Florida? We're moving in lock, stock, and barrel. We're going to be in the pool. We're going to be at the clubhouse. We're going to be all over that shuffleboard court. And if you think you can keep us out, I dare you to try and stop me.
Who the hell was that?
Oh man, I have an idea who that was, but we don't name the callers unless they name themselves. But love the impression. I mean, when he gets into that, we're going to be all over that shovelball court. I
It's
loved it.
Pretty solid. I'm a huge. Obviously, that was a reference to Seinfeld. And Frank Costanza was a great character on that show. Thanks for the call in. Love hearing those quotes. Bring more of that energy because
Yeah.
that's fun stuff. I love it.
Jerry Stiller, underrated comedy, like everything he's in, he is just so funny. Like it's just his look and everything. He hits it on every level. I just love that guy. I loved him in everything he was in, from the King of Queens, Seinfeld, obviously.
Yep.
Even in like Zoolander and other like shows or movies that he was in. I just always
He's in a Heartbreak Kid. One of
The
my
Heartbreak Kid. Yeah, I mean, I loved him in everything, man. He's just hilarious. Hilarious guy. R.I.P. All right, our next call.
Hey, boys. Recently, I was accused of lacking etiquette out there on the golf course. Yeah, it gives my buddies a reason to bust my chops, but if I wasn't with my buddies, that really would have affected me. So my topic this week, or my question for you guys is, am I the outlier? Because I really pay attention to and really rate myself on my manners and my etiquette and my gentlemanliness. I heard someone describe how you could rate a guy, how much they are a gentleman, by how much they respect their mother. And that really gets me, and so I think of that. So am I the outlier? Am I the weirdo? Or is this normal human protocol in, 2024? Do people care about having good manners, holding the door for a woman, let the woman leave the elevator first, driving with politeness, being a gentleman overall? Let me know, guys. Is it normal? Is that just normal society's thoughts, or am I the weirdo? Hashtag Corner Boys.
All right, first I would like to address the hashtag there. He said hashtag Corner Boys. I've been told that has not made it onto the show. I want everyone to realize at the end there, it's hashtag Corner Boys. The Corner Boys are the guys that hang at Graham's over there. We have named them the Corner Boys. Second, Timmy, I like that, the people that, show how they respect their mother. First, respect and the way we treat people as a whole has gone to shit. Okay? It's the worst it's ever been, particularly driving. It's awful while driving. The world right now is just so many people that only care about themselves. They're in their own bubble. It's all about me, no one else. And it's nice to come across people that are genuine, kind, thoughtful, but more and more, all I see is this selfish, self-centered lack of respect for anyone else, and it's a shame. So as far as our society goes, we're going downhill on that. And I don't know what's going to save us.
I don't. I mean, this is kind of a heavier topic from the Corner Boys. I would say, so the one thing that I always do, and it's easier for me because having daughters really kind of puts a a different emphasis on how you treat women. And my mother hasn't been around now in 4 years. So like, but she instilled so many different values in me. And one of and my dad, actually, I would say my dad did this too. Um, like one of the biggest things I remember, and I still do to this day, is that like when you walk on the street, like if you're walking along your significant other, your lady friend, like you are the person that should be closest to the street just in case a car comes and like it veers off onto the curb and yeah, you take the brunt of I mean it's pretty aggressive, but
Yeah.
like it's
Kind
just
of
what
ridiculous too. Like, I mean, I guess you could shove them out of the way,
yeah.
but like, what are you gonna take the car on?
I
Stop the
I got
car.
this one.
Yeah. Oh, thank
Like
God you were standing there. We're able to stop that car from hitting us.
but like stuff like that. Look,
I do the same thing though.
you're never gonna get the old, there's you're walking along the street, there's a puddle, and the guy takes off the coat and he throws
I
the
never
coat.
got that. I
Yeah,
never
what?
understood that. Why are we putting our like you're ruining your jacket? You know
Yeah,
what I mean? Like just
yeah,
pick her up
that's it. Or walk around the
or
goddamn
walk around the
puddle.
puddle. Yeah.
You see it in movies and stuff like that. Um, but like opening the door, right? And
Ladies first and,
yeah, like all that
just
stuff.
being polite.
It is look, that's something that still I try to do, but I will say that like women also are different these days. Like, women feel empowered now and they don't want to feel like they have to be treated like that. So I think there's all sorts of different things in society that really have kind of landed us where we're at right now that have really affected that. Um and look,
Well, I mean, you
I'm
see what happens with that, Tim. As soon as you start letting women do stuff, they can't even protect a former sitting president. You know what I mean? It's ridiculous how bad they are and everything.
yeah. I mean, look, they
Put your gun in the holster, hon.
what's this, amateur hour? Get it together, lady.
Yeah,
We ever been
Jesus.
around a president that's been assassinated before?
First time getting shot at, toots.
Oh,
Oh man. Yeah, so society's going to hell. I don't know what to tell you, Tim. But hashtag corner boys, thank you for the call. And Timmy, let's move in. And that's I think actually a fairly good segue. If you're not aware, this past weekend, former
Ooh.
President Trump was out at a rally and a gunman tried to assassinate him, kill him. And this was obviously the biggest news of the weekend. And it happened on Saturday afternoon. I'm at work, Tim. It's now Sunday afternoon. It's more than a whole day later. Coming towards the end of my shift. We're there. A guy, Joe the painter, comes in and he's yucking it up with the regulars, and we're sitting there and he's saying this and that. I said, I forget what it was that he said, but I said, well, with everything that just happened with Trump, we'll see. And he goes to me, what do you do now? And I'm like, uh, you know, the thing with Trump. And he's like, what? What happened? I said, he got shot. Dude had no clue. I mean, a full day later, no clue what had happened. And to be honest, I'm kind of jealous of the fact that he is so checked out that he's away enough to have the ability to have no clue on what was probably some of the biggest news of the last several years.
Well, I wish that he was my dad because my dad was the opposite.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, I said to him, I said, well, have you heard of JFK? Did you hear what happened to him?
yeah,
Hey, you're not gonna believe the Twin Towers, dude. You know.
Mm.
Did you ever hear about Haktua?
Well, don't get them started on that.
Wawa's got pizza. Are you aware?
And it's terrible.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's kind of strange, especially this day and age because it's everywhere. Like you get notifications on shit that you don't even know. Like it'll just pop up on your phone, and for him not to know that after a day,
Yeah. He has
is
a
kind of
smartphone too. For those of you out there, this gentleman does have a smartphone.
yeah.
He's like, it didn't pop up on my thing. I'm like, okay.
Doesn't sound very smart.
Yeah, you got a stupid phone, dude. Return that phone. That's a dumb phone.
Yeah, it's one of those moments like it's so if you look back in history, the last time this has happened was when Reagan was, attempted. And that's 1980, like seven-ish.
Yeah.
I was five. So a long time ago, 37 years ago. Yeah, look, you never want to see anyone like injured or anything like that, but like I mean, this is like it's like a big deal, dude. Like this is like a former president guy. He's the Republican nominee for the presidential election that's upcoming in November. Like this is like a big deal. And yeah, we're not going to get like too political here, but like I mean, it's concerning. Like
Mm.
it's really, really like eye-opening for something like this to happen, especially like now we're starting to get like a lot of the information and like how this guy was able to get onto the roof and actually even take a shot at him. There's a lot of just really concerning things about the security of former president and all that other stuff. So like hopefully it all shakes out and like I don't even know what to say.
Yeah, no, because
Like,
we really like, I just brought it up because it was such big news and I just thought it was incredible that he had not uh heard about it. As far as, you know, I wouldn't want to upset anybody with my political views or opinions, so
sure.
I don't
Sure.
care to really, I guess, bring it up too much on this show. But you know what, I feel awful for the people that were shot, injured, and the gentleman that passed away. So
There you go.
that's a shame and very sad, very sad state of affairs. And you know, I guess as we were just talking about, hopefully our country as a whole can turn it around. The golden rule: let's start treating people the way we want to be treated. All right, Timmy, let's move on. Um, you had quite a Friday night. You had quite a night out. You were out on the town. You were doing your thing. You were singing the national anthem. You were enjoying yourself, and I'm start as we're getting older. You know, when I was a young man, I used to be able to put them away with the best of them.
Mm,
And as time goes by, and I'm going, I still feel like that. If you remember back to my 40th birthday,
mm.
I thought I could conquer the world. I was on top of the world and on top of the bar. I was singing, I was having cake, and the next thing you know, I was on the side of my work, passed out during the day,
With the chalk
vomit
line.
everywhere,
Yeah, yeah, you were gone.
a mess. Is this is this something I need to be checking into rehab for?
Yeah, I mean, if you were a public figure, you would have to announce that that's what you were doing. You're going away. Your wife and children will be sequestered and the whole deal. Dude, my Friday was a little wild. It just like it turned into like just craziness. Like a friend says like, "Hey, let's have a late lunch," and you go to where his wife works, and it turns into just like an absolute shit show. A- And
What were you drinking? I think you were telling me
just vodka. It was Moscow Mules. Like I haven't really
oh,
been able to drink much beer lately. I just thought like I'm off kind of beer has been kind of killing me a little bit. it's just not doing it's not doing it for me. It's just like it's been like
You don't
super
have the
hot.
taste for it as much.
Yeah. I'm not really feeling it anymore.
Like in summertime when you don't want to eat a hot soup, basically. You're like, I'm not really
Ex-
feeling this beer right now. I need something else.
right. Like a nice refreshing drink. So that's why I started drinking the Moscow Mules. Um, and they just started piling up there, Tom, and it got to the point where like, it just they just caught up to me and I really enjoyed myself and I ended up back at my buddy's house and uh we slept on the couch together. We had a snore fight where
Did you really?
I mean, that's what it seemed
That's
like.
two big men. It's two big men on the couch.
Look up right next to him, and it was just it was like a
Hey.
pickleball. It was like a pickleball match. It was like snore, hit one over the net, snore back, like snore louder.
Yeah.
It was back and forth. It was just brutal. It's like something out of a cartoon.
Oh,
And Tom, I'll tell you what, it took me a while to get back.
that's the worst part too, the recovery.
We went immediately home. First of all, I had to pick up my car because I left it where it should have been. Like I did not drive, which was great.
Hey.
And I got dropped off at my car, drove home, and slept for 4.5 hours as soon as I got home. But like on the way home, I was like dry heaving, like this
Oh,
is it just caught up, man. It's just not it doesn't sit right anymore, you know? It's like you don't drink that much and it just kind of really piled up on me and it had it took its toll on the big guy.
well, toll's a toll and what is it?
Toll's a toll and a roll's a roll. And we ain't getting no tolls and we ain't getting no rolls.
Timmy, I've been reading a lot lately on John Wooden. I know we've talked about it in the past, and we've talked about it a couple episodes back, and he's been preaching more about just running the race is what he talks about. It's not necessarily about the outcome at the end, it's just the fact that you ran the race. And this past weekend, I had a bit of a task to do. I had set out some things with my friends, and my brother got involved and helped us out, but it was no easy task. In fact, there was a lot of things that were difficult with it. And it's funny that looking back at what we did, as much as it was a chore, the best part of it was the doing the crazy stuff that we were doing and then being able to talk about it afterwards. Like once you get through, it's not so much that it's done, it's the things that were going on while you were doing it. And I wonder if there's any sort of like when you think about like your sports days and stuff like that, it's not necessarily about like, oh, just this one like winning the championship. It's the whole thing leading up to it. And like I'm really trying to dive into that mentality with especially like my kid going into his like sporting life of it's more about like the practices and the hard work and like enjoying that stuff and that time because I think that's more the stuff you remember. I don't know. When you look back at your sporting days, I'm sure some big wins are important, but like it's more like that camaraderie. Am I crazy or
You're spot on. You're gonna get me into you're gonna get me into some nostalgia here, Tom, because so my senior year in high school, we were able to win the Philadelphia Catholic League title at Roman Catholics. First time we did it in 52 years, which was like crazy. Because I mean, 5 decades, right? Like for a football team to do that, and we weren't really like the greatest team in the world, but like building. We always remember that championship win, right? Like it was great. Like that was the greatest night of my life. It was fun, but like the building blocks to get to that point were so crucial, right? Like it's the things that like get you to that point that you always remember like throughout the season. So like we lost a game against Strathaven in the very beginning of the year. It was like the second game. Strathaven was a powerhouse team, and we lost like 21-0. The offensive line played like shit. I played like shit. Defense played like shit. Like we just lost the game. We got beat down. It was 21-0. But like the next practice that we had, our coach put us through hell. Like, dude, like gassers all practice. Gassers are when you run 200 yards in 50-yard increments consecutively. So like you run 50 yards, it's like a suicide. 50 yards back and forth, yeah, a total of 4 times. So it's like it's brutal. But and then they made the offensive line drive the sled, and like everyone that played on that team remembers Strathaven Tuesday. That's what it was. It came to be known as Strathaven Tuesday because it was something that really like brought the team together. Like, hey, we played this shitty and we went through this hell to make ourselves better, to get to the point at the end of the season where like you remember back to that day, you're like, dude, Strathaven Tuesday sucks so bad, but it made us better to be able to get to this point at the end of the season. Like if like no matter what we did, like Strathaven Tuesday was the worst thing that happened to us that season. If we were in that game and like the worst thing, like we were down, whatever, we could always reference back to like Strathaven Tuesday. Like that's the worst it's going to get this season. We can always overcome it because we overcame Strathaven Tuesday, right? Like so.
It's funny that you say that because as we were doing this stuff, I was talking to the one friend. I was like, it's because we had bags of concrete and heavy things and we're carrying it down. And it's like, I'm like, if we added like 4 more bags of concrete, this would almost be like training for wrestling. And he's like, yeah, you take away the wheel too, And so it was like, it's funny that, as you're going through life, you get in a difficult situation, you look back and say, well, it's not as bad as that was, so I can get through this. If I can get through that, I can get through anything. And it's funny you kind of have this similar take right there.
The greatest thing I've ever learned is that what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Like that whole mantra is like so true. Like because there's so many things in life that can really kill you, and if you can get through them, dude, you'll come out like an absolute gem on the other side because you know how to deal with it, and like you know how to deal with adversity. You know how to respond when it hits you in the face. Like that's the stuff that like always helps you push through. Is like you have real life experiences and like oh, I've seen this before. It ain't as bad as what happened to me at this point in my life, but I'll be fine. Like that's the shit that's great.
Yeah. Amen. What a great message and what a great way to end this episode. And in the words of the great Kelly Clarkson, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Am I right, Tim?
That's right.
What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And you know what? I think we killed this episode, but we'll be stronger for it, Tim. Remember out there, new episodes every week. If you want to be a part of the show, the best way to do it is by calling us at 215-948-6546. That's 215-948-OK-GO. We love your calls. We appreciate them. Keep them coming. Give us that follow. Give us that subscribe. We're on YouTube, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram. Follow us all. Share some videos. Like some stuff. We're growing and it's showing. We're showers and growers here on this show. New episodes every week. Once again, if you'd like to be on the show, 215-948-6546. Give us a call. Timmy, anything you got to say to all the Schmidt Lavelleites out there before we sign off?
Tom, what would the world be without Captain James Hook?
Oh, a throwback. There you are, Peter. A throwback. Incredible. You can fly, you can fight, and you can... Until next week. What's that?
Bro.
Yeah, bangarang, Tim. Until next week, my name's Tom Lavelle for Timothy Schmidt. We love you. Have a great weekend. Enjoy the Open Championship. Peace.